Hey everybody, so here we are again. You can see a little bit more of the trailer. What I'm going to try and do today, even though this has been done a million times on the internet I think, but it's what we're doing. So one of the things we had to do is our dinette cushions were pretty shot. The material was pretty bad and the padding inside them was also pretty bad. The seat padding was real bad, and we've got some replacement padding here. So it's high density foam. I'm going to use that for the seat padding. The back padding, the padding for the back portion of the seats wasn't all that bad. The covers are bad, so but I'm going to use the pad or the foam that they had in those. So what I'm really trying to do is just redo the covers. They of course had, I guess, the original covers on them. They had zippers, and there was even some vinyl. And I didn't want to do any sewing. I'm capable of sewing, but I didn't really want to go that far. So we got some material at JoAnn Fabrics, and we got this foam. And what we're gonna do, which is, I got the idea off the internet. What we're gonna do is, on the backs of these cushions, we're just gonna we're gonna put a piece of wood, a thin piece of plywood, on the back, like, let's see, like so, and we'll pull the fabric around and just staple. So just staples and fabric and foam is about all you need. So I'm about to do one of the seat cushions. Again, I am not a pro at this. This stuff is all over the internet. That's where I got the idea, but it's what we're doing, so I wanted to show you. And here goes. I am gonna reuse the cushions. The original cushions had the foam and some batting on them. I'm actually not sure what the purpose of the batting is. I think Pam said it was to smooth it out. So I actually did kind of peel the batting off of the bad foam on the seat cushion. I've already done one set. You can actually see the red over there, and we'll show a before picture as well. But that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to take my fabric and lay it out. It's tough to get everything started because everything tends to kind of stick together. The batting sticks to the fabric, sticks to the foam, everything kind of sticks to each other. So it's hard to make minor adjustments to get everything situated right. So the first thing I want to do is, I want to get this will be the batting. I think it had some sort of adhesive to the foam, so when I peeled it off, it's got a little bit of the foam stuck to it.
This is going to be pretty windy. What you doing, hon? Hon?
Just trying to save 20 cents.
Can you do what you were doing earlier where you were, the cushion was trying to get airborne?
I'm gonna go ahead and skip that part.
It almost flew. It almost flew out of his hands. Ooh, I think I'm downwind of that.
Oh yeah, you don't
want to. So we're trying to peel the backing because we don't have any. Wait, that's not backing. It's batting. Batting?
This is a grade 2 biohazard right here. We're just gonna go ahead and reuse it. But it should still work the way it's supposed to. So I'm going to try and measure some of the edges here to try and get this as centered as I can before I throw the foam on here, and then the plywood, and then I'll wrap the fabric around. The plywood actually, so as I said, this is not the way the cushions were originally. They had full covers with zippers and some vinyl, but I got the plywood from our bunks, which we tore out and did some storage shelves back there. We'll show that too in a future video, but the idea is, here's the other back cushion. This is what you're going to end up with. So you don't have to do any sewing that way. It's just a staple gun really is all you need to put it together. But it's you know, it takes a lot of maneuvering to get it to go together right. So the first thing I got to do is try and get this all centered so everything will, when I wrap everything up, it'll reach and be even. So I'm gonna try. And there's everything sticking together, of course. So I think I want about, the way I measured, no, I'm all right. The way I measured, the way I got the fabric is, I think I've got about 8 extra inches bigger than the actual foam in this direction that I'm doing right now. And the reason behind that is 4 of it is for the width of the foam, and another 4 is to wrap over and to be able to staple. So I'm trying to get about 8 inches right here and try and keep it as even and centered as I can. That's actually, so I think this side to this side, I think I'm good right now. And I want to do something similar this direction. And that was just the width of the fabric itself. And I think if I remember from that other cushion I made, it should be in the neighborhood of 8.5 or 9 inches of kind of overage around this way. So I'm just trying to make sure it's all as square as I can get it. It's not perfect, but that's around 9 inches, so I think I might be pretty close. It's pretty close. Okay. So I think that's kind of where the batting is going to sit. I'm just going to lay the foam right on top of it. Try and get it placed. It's about the same size as the batting, so it should sit kind of pretty close to right on top of it, right to the edges. The front actually kind of wraps around the front too of the seat. So back here it comes even, but up front there'll be a little extra to kind of do this to cover the front edge. So that's pretty close as well. There's a little extra here, but there's a little extra over here too. Maybe I'm off by a little bit. And really, the importance here is making sure that when I pick up the fabric and wrap it around to the wood, I actually reach the wood and have enough to grab and staple. So, let's give it a try. So I just center this. It's basically about an inch or 2 inches maybe smaller than the foam. And again, I'm just gonna wrap the fabric and hopefully it reaches. So I'm checking that it reaches, which it does, and it's fairly even. It's not an exact science, like I said, and you can't. It's hard to make small adjustments on this stuff because it's pretty sticky. Everything kind of sticks together. But that looked all right. Let's see if I'm gonna reach okay up here. It's not bad. It's pretty close. I'll be pulling everything. There's definitely plenty there. And I'm basically gonna, there's plenty there. Once I do these edges, it becomes kind of like wrapping a present at that point. But it doesn't quite work like wrapping paper, so it's a little harder to work with, but the idea is similar. Okay, so let's start stapling a little bit.
So you could maybe fast motion some of this.
Mm-hmm.
Fast motion for me. Fast motion for me.
All right. I think that's these two sides. Now keep in mind the plywood isn't really attached to anything here, so it's just the wrapping and the staples that are keeping it there. So it would actually move back and forth. So I got to be careful. But I want to take a quick peek and just see if I got kind of what I'm looking for here. It won't be perfectly tight yet because I haven't done the ends, but it looks fine to me. So now it's the ends. And the ends are, like I said, it is kind of like wrapping a Christmas present, but you have to get a little creative, and it can be a little tougher to work with than wrapping paper is, but it doesn't look perfect, and it can get a little messy on the back, but it's the front that matters. So I think what we decided is, so I might be in the way here, but I'll try and show you what I'm doing. So I'm gonna just pull this tight. So this, because of the batting tells me that this is the front edge of the seat. Not that it matters too much, but the idea is to get these tight, I'm gonna pull on this, kind of like that. I'm gonna fold this, make a fairly tight corner there. And once I've done that on both sides, then I can just fold the whole thing up. And I will have this crease here, but it's not too bad. I forgot to mention, you might see me moving the cushion around quite a bit. That's kind of because of my work surface here. I'm actually building right on the dinette table, and it's not the sturdiest thing in the world. So when I staple, I want to get what I'm stapling as close to the middle of the table as possible, so it's as rigid as possible, because what I found is as I got out near the edges with my staples, they didn't go in as far. So, and I had to try and hammer them down. But if I get closer to the middle, it staples better. So I got that part done, make some pretty decent corners right here. They're not as good as if you'd sew them, but they're not bad. So now it's just kind of get this stuff nice and neat and fold it up over. Get those corners to come out as nicely as you can. It's not perfect, but it's all right. That's one end. Like I said, it's not real pretty on the back. There's a lot of folding going on and stuff, but all you can see from the side really are these two. That fold and that fold. And when you pick that up, you know, I think it looks pretty decent. So let's finish the other side and then I'll take a look at it. Okay, let's see how we did.
Ooh, that's nice. That's real nice. Are you gonna put it on the...
So,
That looks really...
I'm not sure how well you can see there, but I think the corners came out pretty decent. The lighting might not be great in here, but
I like it.
I should probably...
I think it's quite a bit better.
Probably should have done this a while ago, but...
What we will probably need to do... What?
Well, I can see.
We should report back in a couple of months after we've been sitting on them.
Yeah, so the question now is, I mean,
how they hold it.
That wasn't too hard to do, and they come out looking pretty clean, but I don't know
if
really
you have kids jumping on
how
them,
they'll hold up. And yeah, it is just me and Pam. We're actually not planning anytime soon, at least, on using these as bed cushions either. I mean, generally you would take these 4 cushions, and when you put a table down, which clearly this is not that kind of table, the people that had this before us must have replaced the table. But normally you would have a table with folding legs that would sit in that dinette spot and become the base of the bed, and you would use those 4 cushions to lay out as the bed. So these would be bed cushions as well. We're not planning on doing that, so hopefully they won't take too much of a beating, and the fact that they're, you know, not super sturdy put together, hopefully it won't matter much. But they look okay for now. And the big thing is, especially on the bottom seats, which I replaced the foam. The big thing is that foam. It was actually pretty painful to sit on our old ones. They were really they were just smashed. You might as well just sat right on the plywood. So that's the big thing. Just hopefully it holds up a little bit. I've got one more. I'm gonna do this one. This would be the back cushion. I'm gonna do this one the same way, and that should do it. So check back in a little bit. So there we are, all done. 4 cushions. They look decent if you don't pay too close of attention. Again, the real test is how well they hold up. But you know, we're just gonna be sitting on them to eat. We won't be using them for bed cushions, so hopefully they'll hold up for a while. It was a pretty cheap solution, a lot cheaper than buying some, and I think less time than trying to do a bunch of sewing and adding zippers and things. I guess one of the drawbacks is they're not really washable since they're stapled on there, but we're gonna Scotch guard them, and hopefully that will be enough. At least they'll keep us going for a while, I hope, and then we'll see. Maybe we'll try it again in the future. That should do it. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and we'll be back to see you on the next one. Bye bye.